Masks are an essential part of our After Effects work. Creating masks for special effects, motion paths, or even for creating original artwork has become very important for After Effects artists. You can copy these from Photoshop or Illustrator, or you can create them from scratch in After Effects. However, the bottom line is that masks are cool. So, without any further delay, let's get to it.
Masks make part of the layer invisible. It doesn't delete it, but it makes it invisible so that transparency can come through. Let's try it. Let's go ahead and create a new composition. Let's go ahead and make it NTSC-DV, and the background color can be anything. A duration of 10 seconds is fine. And click OK. You can rename it if you want. You can click on it, press Enter or Return, and then just name it Masks. And let's go ahead and create a solid for this composition. For that, go under Layer, New, Solid. Let's go ahead and make it a different color other than black. You can make it green or blue or yellow, doesn't really matter. And click OK. And basically, we can now use a mask to hide parts of this image. I'm going to go ahead and select the Ellipse tool. To select the Ellipse tool, just click and hold on the rectangle tool, and there you go, it's right in there in that tool set. With the layer selected, you can now click and drag, and as you can see, everything outside of the circle is now transparent. I'll click on the Toggle Transparency Grid button so that you can see. And there you go. Now be very careful with this, because if the layer is not selected and you click and drag, you're actually creating a shape layer. I don't want to get into shape layers right now. We will be doing that at a later lesson. So let me go ahead and click on this shape layer and delete it. And there you go. I can keep on clicking and dragging to create new masks on this layer. I can create little eyes here. Let me create a little face. I'll use the pen tool to just create a little smile here. And there you go. As you can see, every time I clicked and dragged, a new mask was added to the layer. These masks are all set to the Add Transparency mode, which means that anything inside of the mask is going to be opaque. What this really means is that if I deselect the layer, I will just see the circle, because the masks that make up the eyes and the mouth are set to add, which means they were already added from the outside of the face. I'll select the layer again. Let's talk a little bit about that. As you can see, there are 4 masks in here, and right now I'm not sure which mask is which, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the words Mask 1. And as you can see, the outside of the face of this smiley face actually got highlighted a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and change the color of the label of this particular mask so that we can see it a little bit better. I'll make it blue. And there you go. The outside of the mask turned blue in color. I'm going to go ahead and change to the Selection tool. I'm going to rename this mask Face. For that, just select it, press Enter or Return, and type the word Face. Now I'm going to go to Mask 2, and that's the left eye. I'm just going to rename it Left Eye. Mask 3 is the right eye. And finally, Mask 4 is the mouth. Right now, all of my masks are now named properly. The next thing that I need to do is change the transparency mode of the masks. For example, the left eye shouldn't be set to add, it should be set to subtract, because now I want for the inside of this mask to be transparent. The same for the right eye. and the same for the mouth. Now I have a face that I can see and is untransparent. I'm going to click on the layer name, and now I'm going to press a shortcut that I would like for you to remember. That is the letter M. Letter M for mask. Go ahead and select the layer, press the letter M. What that does is that it shows you not only the masks, but also the mask path, which we will use to interpolate this mask. There are other properties that the masks contain. If I collapse one and then expand it again, you see that it's not just the mask path. There is also the mask feather, which I can change. See how the edges now of the face become a little bit soft? There is the mask opacity. And of course the mask expansion. I can make the mask larger or smaller. I will reset that. There you go. The next thing that I want to talk about is the mask transparency. For that, I'm going to create a new composition. I'm just going to call it Masks 2. And I'll create a new solid for this one. The shortcut to create a solid is Command Y. I'll click OK. I'll create two masks, which are two rectangles. One will be set to add, one to subtract. As you can see, one leaves solid or opaque everything inside of the mask, the other one is the opposite. The next transparency mode would be intersect. In this case, only the overlapping or intersecting parts of the mask will be opaque. Lighten and darken refer to the opacity of the mask. If I select lighten, I will change the mask opacity a little bit. And in the intersecting part here, notice how the more opaque mask is the one that is prevalent. I will change this now to darken. And now the opposite occurs. Not only do they act like if they were intersecting, but the opacity value of the least opaque of the two masks is the one that was preserved.